What's up? Welcome to the unofficial Tedeschi Trucks podcast. I am Adam Choit. This is episode number 85. And to follow this show, of course, it's at Tedeschi Trucks podcast on Instagram. Please subscribe to the show on YouTube. If you're here, you can see where to do that. Like the videos, share the videos. That's all appreciated. I'm at Adam Choit on Instagram and Twitter. If you want to follow me, please also subscribe if you're listening. This is, of course, going to be released as a live or a audio podcast as well. So please subscribe on whatever platform you listen to podcasts. I'm just pulling up my notes here, getting all settled in. Looking forward to recapping the fall, which was awesome. It was I don't know, I just love everything that this band is doing, and I love this this project, The Moon. I Am the Moon. Just spectacular music, just continuing to deliver amazing stuff to us. Is this this band that we're so fortunate to get to listen to and to have all this new music is so cool. Like, this is a gigantic catalog. And one thing I was thinking about the other day was that, like, how awesome is it going to be when we hear like the old stuff like come back into the fold when they play something live that maybe they haven't played in a while. Like, I saw that, what did they play? It's So Heavy the other day, which kind of hasn't been played, I don't think, as much lately. And like, I'm sure here, I don't think I actually heard that, but I saw it was on a set list. So when they play the old stuff, it's going to hit that much harder, and I'm already looking forward to that down the line. But I have a bunch of notes here, and if you guys want to chime in and comment, give your thoughts, we can discuss communally, for sure. I'm gonna pull up all the I'm used to saying set lists from doing recap, but it was more of the album tracks, the order here. So I guess let's just get into it. I don't think I have anything else to cover before we kind of dive into to all the songs and the film and what we saw. Just so much cool stuff tonight from this band. Let me know if my fan is too loud. I do have a fan going here next to me. But the first song that we heard was Somehow. I also hope this is recording, by the way, because I haven't actually got confirmation that the audio is working, but I can see myself on YouTube, but I have that muted. But anyway, yeah, the first song is Somehow. One of the themes that I think throughout this recap that I'm going to revisit over and over again is how much, like, these songs remind me of the Rolling Stones, like their music, especially from like early 70s Rolling Stones. And I'm going to get into this more, but like, especially maybe with like Mick Taylor playing such phenomenal melodic leads that have a vocal quality to them in itself too, to his playing. Just these songs, just like the groovy vibes, soulful, like really music that you can nod to and sway to and dance to and stomp your feet. Just like this great rhythmic. There's a lot of rhythm to the Rolling Stones music and to Tedeschi Trucks band's music. You know, I guess just from the American roots that both bands probably have, you know, I would say for sure eclectic American roots. So we have a lot of cool rhythm stuff going on throughout, of course. What I write down, Somehow, I wrote down lyrically, and it's sounds like Looking for Answers a little bit, and maybe it sounded kind of similar actually a little bit. I don't know if it was in the same key exactly, but I'm just gonna say over and over again how much I love all this stuff. I should pull up a thesaurus again so I can have that ready to go here. I need to get a quieter sounding keyboard. Life goals, and a quieter sounding mouse too. All right, 59 synonyms for awesome. it is pulled up. I'm gonna try to read my chicken scratch handwriting because I just was jotting down notes on a pad here. But what did I write here? The artwork is ingrained in me, from shows to the film to the lively colors. Um, it's impacting my life. Okay, so that's just right off the bat, like just the fact that we've seen these circular Passaquan images behind the stage in these films, in promos, on social media. Like these images have like become ingrained in probably not just me, probably other fans that are so hardcore into this TTB universe. And there are cool images, and they're peaceful images, and they're, and of course colorful and vibrant, of course. So I think that's something that will increase the quality of one's life, is just being around art, because it can change your mood. It can change the feeling of, it can change feelings even, I suppose, like emotion, someone's emotional state. So I don't know. I've come around more, not that I was ever not this way entirely, but like I think I've come around more on just the power of any sort of art form, and how it can change moods and really simply brighten your day in more ways than one. Um, I'm just kind of looking at some notes here where I basically were jotting down just observations. Everything I say might not be super profound. I know, shocking to everyone out there. Um, Passaquan footage we saw. It's just an interesting place with a lot of history, and I think I need to go there. As were many people in Atlanta asking me if I had gone and offering to drive me there, like I've mentioned on previous podcasts after going to Atlanta. Like, yeah, that's gonna be on the next trip. On the next trip, I was talking to my dad, and I was saying, oh, maybe we should come back here, next year and do the Fox Atlanta thing like every year. That could be an annual thing. And he's like, oh, we can go somewhere else instead. And now I'm just thinking, no, I think we need to go back there and go back to Passaquan this go around. So maybe 2023 Passaquan will be a thing, and I'll do the Fox thing and go to the big house and get down to Macon again, because I want to go back there too. But I want to know more about the images, and I want to know more about all the symbolism, some symbology, if that's a word, and icons and graphics, and what this all means. At some point, maybe get an expert on it involved, or I could read more and do more research. That's possible too. But I like to be told things and listen and listen to. I want stories. I mean, I'm an audio listener, I guess, podcast listener. But yeah, that would be fun and interesting. But it is sort of cool to also uh, embrace the mysterious aspect of some of the imagery, and embrace the idea that some of this stuff can evolve over time and be interpreted in different ways and all that stuff. The flashes of light are just so striking on screen. That particular effect has such a warmth whenever it appears. It's such like a feeling of like warmth. I mean, that's all I got, but I like it, and I think it's okay to not necessarily have deep, profound thoughts about all these observations, and just simply like things and think they're cool and or awesome. Um, but yeah, what do I got here? Energy and warmth, what I just said. And Susan and Derek are on fire. The music is almost like, I don't want to say par for the course. That's definitely not the right phrase and the right thing to the right way to describe everything. But it's almost like more interesting in some twisted way because the film is what we're seeing, but it's almost assumed to me and to us how awesome the how awesome the music is. So it's like, let me focus on the film itself as much as I can, because we know the music is gonna be awesome, and we know the film is gonna be awesome too. But you know what I mean. Anyway, what do we got? We got a comment here from my friend Keith Sharp. Kohler Foundation and Columbus State University restored and maintained Passaquan both collectively and respectively. Good information for sure, because I don't know much about these about Passaquan, to be honest, other than a few conversations and some minimal research, but it sounds like and seems like a very special spiritual place for sure, and an interesting place with amazing artwork and an amazing, very natural setting. Um, what do I got here? Susan and Derek at the top of their games. This sounds like an upbeat looking for answers, is what I wrote down. I don't know if it's the same key, but it might be. I'm sure there's others out there who probably can pick up and let me know if that's accurate or not. But yeah, I already listened to, I mean, almost this whole thing twice, because immediately when it ended, I just clicked play and on the video again, the fall. So I heard almost the whole thing twice already. I didn't quite get through it all because it was 31 minutes, and if I started in immediate, shortly thereafter, I almost got through the whole thing twice already. But I loved all the music, and it's gonna fit seamlessly into my. I don't have playlists. I just play all the new stuff and just TTB. I play what I like. I guess that's a playlist, but into the rotation, so to speak, I guess is a better way to describe it. But None Above was the second song. Before that, what do I got here? I guess I'll go into this now. Just again back to the symbolism and some of these geometric figures that seem to be appearing repeatedly in Tedeschi trucks. All the artwork and whatnot is circles. Circles are a big thing. The Wheels of Soul tour, a lot of circular imagery. I mean, I think this has a lot to do with like cycles and things being cyclical, but also connecting. It's an endless connection between whatever compromises a circle, but not to be talked too new agey or whatever. But just it's more or less just an observation that circles are a big thing in a lot of the icons and the images and the imagery and all that stuff. But anyway, moving on to None Above. Oh shit, we're only in the second track. I gotta move a little faster because we're gonna have to make dinner. I haven't even eaten yet. Damn, kaleidoscope is cool. That effect, that's what I wrote. I love this stuff. I need to take harder, more psychedelic drugs before I watch these films, I would say. No, but it's just beautiful, really. All the artwork within the film itself. This is where we saw the rafting and the figures, and just like I'll kind of try to describe some of the feeling that this kind of gave me, and got me thinking a little bit more about the Layla story even, and the idea of like longing and separation and trying to get to your soulmate, significant other, whatever you want to call it. Because I think we saw a male figurine and a female not figurine, figure, rafting these appropriately shaped crescent moon boats or whatever. What do you call them? Canoes. And that combined with traveling through space, like, was sort of juxtaposed against that. So there's the idea of like distance and longing and the archetypal sort of, I don't know if that's the appropriate word, but like male and female, the importance of and significance of male and female figures coming together. The lyrics, I'm reading what I wrote here. Lyrics and image seem to fit. Like, yeah, just the whole rhythm of the music fit with the pace of the images and on the screen and the lyrics. It all just seemed to really work, especially in this particular moment. And of course, it's no accident that those canoes were moon shaped. And just another thought about the moon stuff is the idea that like the moon is the same moon for everyone. I mean, maybe it's like a kind of a cliche moment, and I don't even know what film or TV show I saw this in, but like there's like that moment where like one person in one part of the world is looking up at the moon, and then the other person you cut to like some other person and they're lovers who are far apart or separated, and they're looking up at like the same moon. And just the idea that like this is like a connection between different people, because I think we even maybe saw that in the film itself, where that was like the you look up, like you see the male figure or whatever canoeing, and then go to space, and then you go back, look up the moon, and then go back down to the other figure. I could be making that up, who the hell knows, and reading too much into this stuff. um I'm gonna do more podcasts where I talk specifically about the music, especially when they bring these songs on the road, because I have some notes on that as well during this. Somehow seems a natural evolution from anyhow, not musically per se. I'll have to dig deeper into those lyrics. That's Keith Sharp again commenting, and the beach singing, the knot tying, making the necklaces, all cool stuff for sure. Yes, We Will was the third song. Just a real bluesy sound at Passaquan. This was the part of the film where the band was kind of like taking these, like, I forget what the photographic technique is, but where they're like disappearing and reappearing in different combinations and just looking happy. And again, this just reminds me that I should probably get down to Passaquan sooner than later, next year maybe, like I'm saying. But even watching how joyful and how much like the band enjoys each other and getting this sort of intimate look, it almost seems like there's a little bit of like awkwardness in some ways. Um, like a charming awkwardness, an honest awkwardness, because you know that this band probably doesn't, maybe it's not their favorite thing to do, is like do, be filmed not playing music, just like at photo shoots and doing like, I mean, in some ways this is like promotional material, for the band in some regard. But like, just to see them sort of out of their comfort zone is kind of charming in a way, to see, because that they were being directed to stand here, do this, do that a little bit. Maybe they weren't. Maybe it was fairly loose, where they're just walking around and just being captured. I'm not sure what exactly direction went into this part of the filming of, for this song, but it seemed like it was, again, like another intimate look into like TTB being a little bit vulnerable, and just kind of like they didn't have their instruments, like, not that a band or musicians like hide, I'm putting up air quotes, hide behind their instruments, but they're certainly more vulnerable without them, and at the same time having to literally engage with the camera directly, which kind of, you know brings us, the audience, even closer to the band in some regard. um did I mention this song is bluesy and great? That's what I wrote down here. The background harmony vocals sound great, cool reverby sound. How that's achieved, another Bobby. I should make like a list of like Bobby T's questions, and then I'll just email him or whatever, fucking post in the Facebook thing, the group, like, here's my latest 12 questions, because I forget this stuff. Anyway, what do we see here? We're seeing I think we saw some old footage of Passaguan, being combined with the more recent footage with TTB in it, and just, re-emphasizing the themes of tradition and history, that things change but things also stay the same in many ways, like just these sort of themes shining through the music and through the images, and going, along with Derek's timeless slide guitar playing, overseeing these images fits, of course, perfectly. And then we got into like a funky. I think the drums started getting a little funkier, and then Susan started playing some lead on this song, and kind of, I think, took it all the way to the end. And I like that. That was very fun. And again, I think seeing something like this live is gonna really play well to an audience. Um, Light seems perfect at Passaquan. Yeah, a lot of this looked like it was shot during magic hour. I don't know if the weather was perfect. I mean, there was definitely some magic hour or early morning shots, as opposed to like darkness or 12 noon sunlight. So I don't know, just yeah, the camera work, the directing, and the weather and the time of day, it all seemed to just really uh come across in a unique way. I don't know. It just looked like something about it looked different, like the way Passaquan looked and the way it was shot. Just like the color, it looked like a. I can't. I'm a little all over the place with this, but it was it had a unique look to it, certainly for all those reasons. Um, what do we got here? I think that's all I got on that song. Yes, we will. And then came Gravity. And I wrote down words like funky, bluesy, jazzy. What is that word? I don't know. Horns are sounded great on this, certainly. Um, yeah, again, like this, like it gave me like a little bit of a Stonesy '70s feel to it. Um, and that's like that. I mean, because that I would say probably the Stones were my favorite band before Tedeschi Trucks Band, in a way that was kind of and still is similar in a sense that like I could never get sick of their music because it's eclectic enough. But um, I think that's the end of my sentence. But yeah, and of course it's soulful and has a groove to it, and TTB fits that bill as well. Um, images Images are there's layers of images. I mean, there's layers to TTB, not to sound too trite or on the nose or whatever, but I don't think it's an accident that such we see these types of images in the film. We saw again some Bobby T's at the controls doing his thing. I think the fans want to see more of him and maybe even more of the crew. Am I allowed to? That's allowed to make suggestions for not the films. Obviously, the films are all done, but I think we appreciate more of the behind the scenes stuff and just seeing the crew interacting with the band. But obviously, they're not all public figures and don't want to be a part of things, and most fans probably maybe are not interested. But I guess I'm thinking as the hardcore fan how, you know, to get more even intimate in that sense, to see, you know, TTB with interacting with those who are closest with them beyond you know, all the musicians themselves. um what do we got here? Again, along in that same vein or whatever, like just seeing Susan chilling in the studio, not actually you know, singing, and you know, for a moment, just sitting on the bench, stomping her feet, clapping, dancing, smiling, enjoying it. Like it's just, you know, fun to see an intimate look, a more intimate look at these all these people who we love and these musicians who we love, and it's like we're getting to watch home movies in a sense, especially in the studio. Something about the studio stuff feels very generous of the band to share with us like those intimate studio, because that's their work, that's their office, that's their sanctuary. I mean, they can describe it however they wish, but I'm guessing the words are probably appropriate. So like to let us the fans into their world a little bit visually is appreciated, and it's cool. And I wrote down Gabe is great, of course, on this song. I don't have the credits up in front of me, but I'm sure he was one of the writers, if not the sole writer of that. In terms of the more image stuff and just observation, the trees look so colorful and sharp. I think we're back in Jacksonville for this one, for this part of the film, and obviously looking inside the studio, it looked more swampy. um yeah, but really everything looks so sharp, like at least at this moment, is what I observed. And I remember many moments seeing, I guess, probably some of the drone shots from above, and just the color looked so vibrant and just brings life to the viewer, as does, you know, the music as well, of course. I need a bigger screen and better sound is what I wrote down here. That is for sure. We need to do a screening of all 4 films with a halftime. That's how you do it. You have the 2 films. This is how you do the screening. You do the 2 films and then intermission and then the other 2 films. And that's how it should be like released. Or if it's going to be screened privately. If shit, maybe I'll put something together. We'll see out here. Um, I'll think on that more. But yeah, we saw swampy Jacksonville. I mean that with all due respect. But no, it was beautiful. All those shots of nature. I'm swaying to a Derek solo in my apartment here as I'm jotting down notes and running around my place. And of course, the standing and the sitting and versus the dancing and versus the sitting and all the stuff is a big debate, endless debate for concert goers, especially TTB fans. But I was standing in my apartment the entire time. I stand for all these, just so you guys know. I'm standing during all the live shows that are streamed and these films and the fireside sessions and all that stuff. I gotta stand. I mean, I'm stand most of the time. I am standing, listening to or driving. I guess I'm sitting when I'm driving. That's true. I don't stand and drive. If I could stand and drive, I would probably stand and drive. Is that more dangerous? I'm getting off topic here. We got a comment from Norton. These songs were all awesome. Thrilled to see them on a set list soon. Somehow, Take Me As I Am and Gravity. Wow, just wow. I mean, my thoughts exactly. Sounds like a formula for an evening with TTB. I think that's Keith Sharp responding to me talking about the idea of I think the films, the idea of having the first two intermission and the other two. Yeah, it would have to be with an intermission. Just it would be better actually. What is it? 30? Does anyone have the count of how good are we at math? I think the first two, I could pull them up, but I think the fall or the crescent was about 36 minutes or so. Maybe that's with credits too, so it could be a little shorter. Yeah, I'm including the credits because I'm just thinking about like the YouTube length of the videos. How interesting is this conversation for everyone listening right now? But I think it was like 36 plus 30 something. So we're probably at about an hour there, and this one was probably close to a half hour. So we're probably just a tick under an hour and a half. So probably about 2 hours of music, which sounds about right. An evening with TTB. That's what I'll call it when I rent out a space out here, or some friend with a big backyard, one of those outdoor screens or something like that. Um, I'll only invite music fans, or like it has to be like 85% people who are like into TTB or into like coming for the music and coming for like to and the films and all that stuff. Not like I don't know. I want people to be engaged to some degree if I end up doing something like this. But anyway, then I wrote down, should I move to Jacksonville? But that's more of a 2023, 2024 question, perhaps. Also, it was cool to see or interesting, I guess. These are more of the observations where I'm reaching, but thinking about the juxtaposition of like the nature mixed in with all like the technology in the studio was sort of, you know, it can lead to many conversations and many thoughts about how those things can conflict, but also work, and exist at the same time. You can use like there's an organic naturalness. I'm making up words about how Tedeschi Trucks band goes about they're authentic and they're I don't know. I'm getting off track, but anyway, this band is such a chill, professional group, and at least that's what it seems like from afar. And getting a little bit of an intimate look into the studio, I think, just shows that even more to us, the fans. Track 5, Emmeline, the ballad with Mike on vocals, Mike Madison. And I thought again, like this had like a little bit of like maybe even I could picture like a Keith Richards song on a Rolling Stones album or something like that. A little bit of a country flair. Another song that had like a longing quality to it. Mike always has. This is an observation about Mike Madison music. All of Mike's songs, I think, or many, have sort of an eclectic offbeat surprise in them to some degree that is a throwback, but also with a modern spin to it. And yet you're always hooked. Like something's a little bit like offbeat, but you're still hooked. And it's he has his own style, but it's also you're also kept he keeps you on your toes, I think, with his songwriting and with his approach to music, because he can do a rock song, country song, an old timey jazzy thing, like, and that just is great. And he it's not that he when I think Mike's contribution to the band, or one of his contributions to the band, is well, it's not that it's just one thing. It's not just like, oh, here's Mike doing a Mike type song. A Mike type song could mean a lot of different things. So he just expands, of course, how dynamic this band could be by bringing such an eclectic um force himself to the overall band. And of course, in many ways, he's spearheaded and is the creator of I Am the Moon, um, the album, the idea for the albums themselves. What do we got here? Just the images had more of a melancholy vibe that fit this song. Um, and yeah, just the film has always, from the start of Crescent to the end of this film, everything is in sync in a sense. It fits, everything fits and works well together in harmony. And you kind of saw towards the end of this song on screen like a female figure, but you never saw her face, and that increased like the tension. I feel like of like you kind of like as a viewer want to like see more of her, see her the full figure on stage, and all you kind of really saw were fragments in the shadows and obscured figure, and that gives you more of that sense of longing, more of a sense of a memory. And there's a lot of those themes, of course, in the Layla story. So I think there are a lot of tangible and not maybe overt, nods to the Layla story, but it's there. It's there, and these are things that I think we're going to digest and see and find more and more as we listen to the music more and more. And I mean, I barely really dove into the lyrics, even from some of the other. It seeps in, I guess. It seeps into your being, even if I don't have every song memorized, and if I'm not even if I'm not off book with the vocals myself yet or anything like that. But Take Me As I Am was the final song of this album, of the film. Susan Ballad essentially is what I wrote down. And then this is one thing that jumped out at me. We saw like this image of like the muscles in the hand with all like those numbers. I kind of want to know more about that, because I kind of like, those are rabbit holes I go down, like looking up all the names of all the bones and the muscles and how everything connects. Basically, I'm trying to learn all the things that they did not teach in school growing up, or that I guess I just like forgot or something like that. Maybe they did teach some of the stuff, but I'm always interested in that stuff, and I thought it was interesting to see that on screen. What do I got here? The images feel like it's what we're all made out of. Okay, because we saw, I don't know, just thinking again, like the idea of how if you look at like a picture of the universe, essentially, or the known universe, and then like if you look at like a microscopic close up of like a cell, it kind of like looks very similar. Even an eye is kind of has a similar like structure to the universe and to a cell itself. And we're kind of seeing all these types of images flash before us, and coinciding with the lyrics, it all worked for me and was all connected. And we got a Mark Rivers vocal verse here, I believe, on this song, and people are going to dig that live, and he's going to, I think, take this part to the next level. not that he needs to, but just of course this band is known for taking things to the next level and expanding on their songs live. So I think when Mark dives into his part on this song live, I think fans are really, really going to respond to it, and I think they're really, really going to respond to it when he comes back in after Derek's solo later in the song. But this song actually more than I mean, a lot of these songs I've been saying kind of feel a little bit like Stonesy vibe, Rolling Stones ish to me, of course, which I love. But this one had a little bit more of a Beatles vibe, I thought, actually. This particular one, John Lennon ish, perhaps even. And I really love how the vocals just build throughout the track. Really, all of the vocals, the way Susan's crescendos and the passion just grows, and then the emotion like builds. Emotion building is is a better way to perhaps just describe it. And you get that with Mark, and you get that with the harmony vocals in this song. So it's really just the vocal build up of this song is really powerful, to the point I wrote down goosebumps here, maybe even a tear forming. And then, as Susan, it was almost, it was like that moment sort of where Susan says midnight up in Harlem, and then I'm never going to do that again, but and then Derek plays a solo. It's kind of like that, like she belts out a powerful vocal, and then Derek comes in and we hear him do playing some kind of face melting solo, as there's literal fire on the screen at this part of the film. Rather appropriate. But I mean, you could do that over every single Derek solo. So it's probably wise to not necessarily have the fire visually on top of every single Derek Trucks guitar solo. But you could, and it would be appropriate. And then again, we're seeing, similar to the fire, also infinite skies, which is sort of, I don't know, music is infinite. Possibilities are infinite. It's infinite what this band can do creatively, what especially Derek can do creatively. Like, there's nothing more freeing, I suppose, than Derek Trucks playing a guitar solo. So just like the freedom of creativity, and the freedom, the visceral feeling of flying through the sky as the camera was moving, were two ideas that fit well together. And that's when, after that, Mark Rivers came back in with his part of the song. And again, I think fans are really going to go nuts for that live, as they are going to go live for when Susan comes back in with the horns. It's just such a, I don't know, the horns, and it just adds to such a more of an emotional quality and just takes things to the next level. The horns always do that in all these like old soul songs, certainly the Otis Reddings and the Wilson Pickett songs where you get the horns. It's always just, and also on like a Stones song, like I'll just say like on Exile, the horns on an Exile on Main Street song. I'll just say that for now. Let It Loose. Is that what I'm thinking of? But again, a lot of circle imageries, lots of spinning images throughout the film itself. As we're seeing, you're a part of me, I'm a part of you. Just very touching stuff. And these are simple ideas, I think, in many ways, and simple messages, but important messages and crucial messages, and things that we don't say to each other enough or don't express enough. And maybe because you can't really do it so much, or it's harder to do it just in words or just in writing or whatever the case may be. So you need music and you need art to convey these hopeful, heartfelt messages of togetherness. How about that? How's that sound? But I think that's pretty much all I got as far as the film and the album. I love it. I think it's great. I can't wait to hear these songs on the road. I don't know if they played them tonight. Is anyone there in Aurora, Illinois? Because the band actually did have a show tonight. If anyone was there, do you want to come on right now and recap? Maybe I should make dinner. That's probably the best idea. Yeah, but I really love that one. No one asked me which my favorite of the three so far is, because you can't answer something like that. I'm just scrolling through right now all the different tracks on what we've heard so far, up until the end of the fall. Sneak preview, we got 6 more tracks for the next one, part 4, Farewell. That's the tracks are all up at fantasyrecordings.com or whatever, TTB's label. Yeah, where the hell is my outro and stuff like that? Thank you guys for hanging out on the stream. I'll try to get the audio version out soon, maybe later tonight, maybe tomorrow. It's a more realistic goal for that, but hope everyone is doing okay out there. I'm gonna try to do some stuff this weekend for Red Rocks. I don't know if I'm gonna watch them all or watch both of those shows live, or is that the only time you can watch them? I don't know, but I'm probably going to recap the whole weekend of Red Rocks. I'm not going or anything, but the shows will be on Nugs for Swamp Family members for free and maybe available for purchase. I'm not even certain, to be honest with you. But to follow this show, it's at Tedeschi Trucks Podcast on Instagram. On YouTube, just search Tedeschi Trucks Podcast. If you're watching, you are already there. Subscribe, like videos, share them. I'm at Adam Troyd on Instagram and Twitter. If you want to follow me, please give the show a positive review on Apple Podcasts, 5 stars. That's definitely helpful and appreciated for sure. TedeschiTrucksBand.com. That's the band's official website. Go there. Buy tickets to shows, buy merch, order the albums. Join the Swamp Family Club, the fan club. I think that's all of my instructions I have at the moment for everyone out there. Again, thank you for the support with this podcast. It is fun. I appreciate it. I want to recap every single TTB show, but I'm realizing that may be a bit of an unrealistic goal. I mean, recapping with fans who were there, the boots on the ground. But I'll try to do as many as I can and try to like get on a bit more of a schedule or be more aware of the schedule. They tour. I mean, this makes me appreciate how much they tour even more. Just seeing how many shows there are. I'm like, oh, there's another one tonight in Ohio. I don't have a guest to recap that one yet. Shit, should I do it or should I wait till tomorrow? Whatever the case may be. But yeah, again, thank you. I appreciate all the support. I'm gonna let you guys enjoy the rest of your evening who've been hanging out. Please do that, and we'll talk soon. Peace.